what I do is my active imagination puts me in touch with other dimensions. And there are views which says we are all multidimensional beings. So a shaman is someone who is practicing being a multidimensional being all the time. Now, to give you some explanation about this, make it clear. When I look at the grass in front of me, when I feel the blades of grass, when I feel the wind on my face, this is what people call third dimensional reality. We're talking about 3 dimensions because we refer to length, breadth and width. Things having 3 dimensions. It's got height, it's got length, it's got width. And then H.G. Wells came along and said, well, don't forget the 4th dimension, that's time. Okay, so you've got length, you've got width, you've got height, and you've got time, so you call it 3rd or 4th dimensional reality. That's what we use, that's what we all operate in. The shamanic practitioner operates outside of that. They're multidimensional beings. Well, we all are, it's just that the shamanic practitioner has to operate outside of these 3 or 4 dimensions, depending on how you look at it. So this is the other view. The other view is that we are multidimensional beings. The shamanic practitioner operates multidimensionally. He's operating 5th, 6th and other dimensionally, which means he is aware of the existence of all these other beings, who are the guides that he works with, or she works with. So the shaman, together with their guides, they're able to go beyond space and time, which means they can go anywhere and anywhen. So a recent piece of work I did for someone was travelling to Siberia, a very long time ago indeed. The person was born, the people were hungry. The people did what common sense practical people did in those days. There wasn't enough food to go around, the baby was left to die. Of cold and starvation? Well, cold of course, because it was Siberia, so the cold killed the baby off very, very quickly. Now the point is, that person suffered soul loss from that experience. The person was traumatized. That baby was born, that baby had a desire to live. The baby had no mother to cuddle it, no mother to feed it. It felt cold, it felt desperate, it felt abandoned, and a short time later it died. So that soul died in considerable trauma. So when I travelled in space and time back to that place and I encountered that dying baby, my job was to, with my guides, I can't do any of this work without them, I'll be really blunt with you. A shamanic practitioner minus guides equals no work being done. That's the way it is. And I've had a couple of experiences since I've been practicing when my guides have said to me, okay, you've got to go offline. The first time they told me this, I didn't know how long it was going to be. Just over a month actually. And out of that month of not being able to work was born the Universal Soul Retrieval, which is the deepest work I offer these days. So I'm very grateful for being taken offline. So when I'm able to work, when my guides are willing to work with me, that's what happens. So what we do is, me and the guides, we travel to that point in space and time where that baby was dying, and we approach that soul and we ask that soul if that soul wants to come with us. And because we've gone to that place just before death, that soul chose very willingly to come with us, and we took the soul with us. And we actually travel, when we do this particular kind of work, that's Universal Soul Retrieval work I'm talking about now, we actually leave that particular place and time and we enter an entirely different dimension. And that dimension is one which is best understood by me as being a dimension of peach pink healing light. That's all I can witness in that dimension. All I can witness is this peach pink healing light. And that traumatized soul is bathed in this light. And the charge of healing that soul gets is phenomenal. And there's something happens to the quality of the soul becomes liquefied. So we then move out of that dimension, back to the dimension where I do the healing work, which is definitely not this 3rd stroke 4th dimensional reality I'm in at the moment. And we then return that liquefied soul part to the person, to the client, always through the heart. That's the way I work. I know other shamanic practitioners, and they return the soul parts through the head, or through the solar plexus, or through other places, but with me, it's always the heart. So that soul part, liquefied, gets returned to the person's heart, and then the person feels the new energy, the new life return to that person. And this is one of the fundamental things about shamanic practitioners healing, is a lot of people suffer from energy depletion. That means lack of energy. The reason why so many people have lack of energy is because they've lived many, many lives, they've had many, many traumas, many upsetting, shocking, disturbing experiences, a lot of which kill them. Now, I don't know why I feel moved to talk about this, but there's a lot of films out. There's one called 300 about the Spartans, there's one called Robin Hood, they're examples. There's a lot of films out in the cinema where people get impaled by metal or wooden objects. I find this deeply upsetting, and I'll tell you why. It's because a lot of my clients actually have suffered from such experiences in their lives, and so quite a bit of my work for the last 5 years has involved going to a place where someone has been stabbed with a sword, with a spear, with an arrow, with an axe, whatever particular instrument is impaled in some way, and my job with the guides is to go in there and invite the soul part to be returned, to go to the dimension of healing and to go back to that person's life. So it's quite a big issue, that, and it's interesting how there are so many films on which are showing in more and more graphic detail this extremely unpleasant experience. I felt the need to digress. I don't know why, but I just thought I'd mention that. So what we can do is we can go to anywhere in space or time where there's been any trauma. We can deal with it, we can return that lost energy, and the person just feels a lot better. And the Universal Soul Retrieval specifically allows me, with the guides, to go to every single traumatic event in that person's existence. And that's what distinguishes that particular work from any other kind of shamanic work that I'm aware of. It's the ability to go to all these places concurrently. Because, yes, it's one of the really big things to get your head around. Space and linear time are illusions. Once you step outside this third stroke fourth dimensional reality, there isn't any time, there isn't any space. And that's how we can do what we do. And the trade-off is really simple. The shamanic practitioner makes this deal. They say, I don't care about taking my body with me on this journey. My body can just lie down in the bed or sit down on the chair, and it can just stay put, and I will do all the travelling in my consciousness with my active imagination, with my guides. It's all perfectly doable if you're prepared to leave your body behind. There will come a time very soon when you won't even need to do that, and you'll be able to take your body with you. But perhaps that's for another moment.